Nice and slow. Whoa, whoa.
Meister of Langschwert von Frankfurt. I challenge all die guten Fechter hier to test their art against me. Was willst du,
Who are you?
Ich bin Menhard. And with whom do I...
Henry.
Heinrich. He comes in... When you...
Do you normally challenge people?
No, normalerweise nicht. I came from Frankfurt. But here in Kuttenberg, I have been treated. That is why I must defend my claim in another way. Where I am looking for brave man to...
I'd like to challenge...
Wunderbar. But the Schwerter will be blunt, yeah? We do not... Aber kein Harnisch. No armor, only clothing.
Sure.
Good. Take off the steel and armor. Anyone who wants to learn the true art of the... Langschwert.
All right, men.
We agreed on ein Take-off.
All right, Menhard.
Good. How about...
Vet.
For some grog?
Naturally.
Good. We have spoken enough. So, Heinrich, are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Ha! Oh! Oh! Mein Gott! Du verdammter!
That's enough! You know full well you've no right to conduct the art of sword fighting here. That's the privilege of our brotherhood.
Halt die Klappe. I am Meister of Longsword. You well know this right we have from the charter of your King Wenzel himself.
Meister Menhard, let me remind you that your petition was discussed by the town council, and your claim was rejected.
That decision was not just, and it went against the will of your king.
It's no use arguing, Deutscher. The council represents the king, and the council has decided in his name. Nicholas of Prague here is also a master longswordsman, and we don't need another. Any more than we need your foreign poses.
All right then. So I will face your Nikolaus or any other man. We shall see then who is der wahre Meister and who is just full of hot air.
Well, I'm ready when you are, Master Menhard.
No, I forbid any dueling here.
Master Nicholas, do not allow yourself to be provoked by this German cock-baiting. No doubt where they come from, they would rather hack each other in the streets than respect law and order. But here, we have more sense and dignity. If anyone is to clash swords here, it will only be when our brotherhood convenes a tournament, not when some Hundsfott. Feels like it.
Fick dich, du Metzgerschwein.
Enough of this, all of you! The council has decided this matter, and I won't waste any more time with your squabbling. You've infringed on our regulations, and it's not the first time. You'll pay a fine.
Scheiße. That is ungerecht. Not just.
And you will be banished from the town, so that nothing like this happens again.
Councillor, Menhard and Arn are friends of our good King Wenceslas. That's why they have his charter, isn't it? You don't want to treat someone of that stature like a common criminal or troublemaker. Show them the courtesy they deserve.
Fuck courtesy. To the pillory with them.
Trampling their honor and dignity underfoot is the same as trampling on the honor and dignity of our king.
Easy, Master Butcher. Kindly leave this matter to me. So, Master...
Henry.
Henry here is right in some respects. You have a charter from King Wenceslas, which, in truth, I cannot simply ignore. You will not be banished from the town, but I warn you, should this be repeated again, it will not be overlooked.
Ich verstehe, Ratsherr. Yes.
Good. I'm pleased to hear it. Nevertheless, you have actually been conducting the art of sword fighting illicitly. You shall therefore pay a fine, to which the Kuttenberg Sword-Fighting Brotherhood will be entitled for the infringement of their right, which also applies to your eloquent spokesman, Henry.
Councillor, that would be all well and good if things were as you say, but that's not actually how it is. Because Meister Menhard here was not conducting any sword-fighting art.
Horseshit! What else would you be meeting up here with swords for, eh?
If he had actually been conducting the art of sword fighting, but Master Menhard here was only defending his honor in a duel because I wronged him.
Yeah, that is true.
Every man has the right to defend his honor. But tell me, how exactly did you offend Master Menhard so inexcusably that it came to swords?
I spread stories about Menhard that he's, dishonorable and a coward.
Das stimmt. A man cannot let such an offense go unpunished.
Indeed. Slander is disgraceful. I understand your resentment, Menhard, but I cannot allow you to go around slicing people up with swords in this town. You can sort it out with him outside the walls, however you like.
Verstanden, Ratsherr. Danke. Komm, Heinrich. Let us finish dealing with this matter. We are lodging in the Schenkel Kaiser Karl, not far from here on Merchantstrasse. We will discuss our business there.
Fuck you and your Groschen, du Feigling.
You could kiss my ass.
Count yourself lucky you had your pal here. Otherwise, we'd have dragged you out of town with our teeth.
Dummheit! Your teeth blitzschnell and end up on your arm.
Stop this shit. Have better things to do. So off you go.
Maybe next.
Time then. Thank you, and take care.
Word about the price.
All right, I'm. Finally, a reasonable sum. Pleasure doing business. Take care.
We've got enough to go around. Anything you need. Come and take your pick. Buy day.
Let's talk about the price.
Sure, why not? Aye, you'll... Thank you.
They'll bring you
And a good
joy.
day to you, friend. Come and take your pick.
Knives!
You
Knives
where?
for sale!
Come
Iron
and
and
take a
steel!
look.
All quality. Pieces.
Easy, good horse.
Willkommen, mein Freund. Such dir was aus. Great! You made a fine purchase, friend.
Show me your wares.
Das war ein gutes Geschäft. Auf Wiedersehen.
Slowly. Nice and slow.
Take a good look at this man. A rebel.
Are you blind? You almost ran into me.
Finest wares, quality goods.
By the way, like you were saying about that book,
My favorite book? Pray tell, did you find it?
as I wandered through the fortress, I stumbled upon von Bergov's chambers, and there it lay. Red leather, gold inlay, just as you said.
You really found it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. By the way, did you have any time to leaf through it and see what it's about?
Actually not.
That's too bad. I think you would like it. And perhaps even learn a thing or two.
Why do you think so?
I just think you might find some common ground with the author. Not in absolutely everything, of course. That's just not possible. But in basic matters, I believe you'd agree. Look, you've never thought about writing something.
Me?
How should I know?
I've been through quite a bit.
Wouldn't you want to at least give it a try?
I suppose I'm not quite sure.
There are still a few blank pages left, so we could...
That sounds great.
We'll have plenty of light and privacy in my chambers.
My pleasure.
How should I start?
You haven't thought of anything yet?
Now, I have many ideas, but we must contribute in equal parts.
Both? Well, fine. What should I do?
Just tell me what you'd like to read about. A tale of a man or a woman? I'll take careful notes of everything.
Well, being a man myself, a man, I suppose.
Why not? And what kind of a man is he?
You mean I have to think up a name?
You don't need to, but try to describe him so I can better imagine him. With a single word, even.
There've already been enough heroes, saints, kings, and martyrs. So an ordinary person.
That's 2 words, but I'll forgive you. And do you want it to be an ordinary villain or an ordinary do-gooder?
Make him a do-gooder. But he can also have some bad traits to make it believable.
Very well. And what kind?
What if he were a bit of a womanizer? But a decent fella otherwise.
And that strikes you as an excusable bad trait? I will engage in no such defense.
He could be born with his foot in his mouth. I know many such. They blurt something out, and only then think about it.
That's a good idea. His mouth gets him into trouble, but in the end, also out of it. That would be a joy to write. Well, just about finished.
Well, let's have a look.
Not yet. Something's missing.
What?
A picture. I don't trust myself with proper illumination, but I think I can handle a sketch, especially if you'll be my model.
What? And what on earth do I have to do?
Have you ever seen a heron? Imitate one.
A heron? Well, maybe like this?
Well, now we're done.
Oh, finally. I'm sore all over.
Your suffering is over. Come take a look at what we've done. Your reward. So what about that story of...
That's nice. A bit didactic, but not to the point of boring moral bludgeoning. That's the way it should be. Sermons for ordinary people work in a similar way. They entertain and encourage, with a few lessons added in between.
You see, when I lead Mass one of these days, I'll certainly think of you. And what about the sketch? For such a slapdash job, it's not bad, right?
Oh, it's pretty, really. I don't think I've ever seen anything like that.
I know I'm no master illuminator, but otherwise, I think we can be quite satisfied. And thank you for the help. I really enjoyed it.
Well, so did I. And for that matter, you're an interesting girl, and I'd like to get to know you a little better.
No beating around the bush. How about that? Please do stop by sometime. I wager it will be enlightening for both of us. Perhaps I can show you my collection of hunting trophies.
I apologize.
Nice and slow.
Refrain from sin. Satan is going around now.
Whoa, whoa.
What's going on?
Glad to see you again.
You have the gall to show me your face again? I'll call the guards.
Hold your horses. I'll come in peace. Actually, I have a little offer for you.
You've come to blackmail me again?
Call it what you like. I need to get into the city council assembly. And I reckon you can help me.
The assembly? The one King Sigismund is supposed to attend in person?
Sigismund's just a usurper. Wenceslas is the only true Bohemian king.
Singing Ruthard's song, eh? I might have known. Speak then. What do you want? And tell the truth.
That's none of your concern.
Oh, really? Then about face and go back where you came from.
Have you forgotten I have you over a barrel? If you want to keep your position and your head on your shoulders, you better shape up.
All right, all right. Maybe we can make a deal. If I get you into the council, you'll behave appropriately and you won't betray yourself, or especially me. And that will be the end of our business together.
I must have misheard you. Our business will be over when I say it is, not before. So pull your head out your ass and see to getting me into that assembly.
All right, Jesus. No need to lose your temper. You can get into the council assembly relatively easily. My cook's son will be serving there. He's roughly around your age. Maybe he can be persuaded to let you stand in for him. Although, not everyone would want to give up an opportunity to serve the King of Hungary.
What would work on him? How can I persuade him to give me his job?
Would you like me to give you a letter for him? I told you how to get to the assembly. Now do your part.
Who's this boy?
Franta's his name. Franta Cooldown. He's an idler and which reminds me, you'll need his letter of permission to serve in the council. Otherwise, you won't be let inside.
What will I need?
Fast feet and good manners. And the livery of a royal waiter.
Excuse me?
Do you think you can serve the king?
Well, no.
Our usual waiter had a brand new livery made specially for meeting the king. Don't even show up there without it.
Where can I find the cook?
He's supposed to pick up his new clothes at the market today, from Master Taylor that is, if he's up and about after...
At the what?
That German alehouse, the Iron...
I'll be going there.
Just me... Excuse me.
The finest wares, quality goods. Fine day for some fine wares. Come and take your pick.
Do your shopping here, and you're in the clear.
A fine day for some fine wares.
Leatherwares!
Have you got those clothes for me?
Here they are.
Come and
The
take
best
a gander.
fabric.
We've got
The
it all.
finest work. I nearly left my fingers on them for buttons. I'll tell you, you won't get work like that just anywhere.
No more than I'd expect
We've
after
got
the amount they
enough to go
cost,
around.
but they're
Whatever
first
it is
class,
you
I have
need,
to
the
admit.
fine
Thanks,
anywhere.
Schneider. I'll gladly recommend you if anyone asks. Greetings. What do you need?
You must be Franta Cooldown.
I am. And who might you be?
I'm Henry. I heard you're supposed to serve at the City Council Assembly.
I am. What's it to you?
Fine wares here. Quality
Supposing I took the job on for you. You can put your feet up, fill your belly, and I'll do all the work for you.
Look here. It's not like I'm all that keen on it, but it's well paid. Apart from that, it's a bit of a pain in the arse. Them councillors stuffing their faces and guzzling wine, while I run around like a bugger with pitchers so they don't run dry. Why would you want to stick your nose in there?
I just have to get in there, understand? I have an important message for the king about a plot against him.
But why would you want to get to him as a waiter?
But it could be that someone from the council is mixed up in it, so I have to be incognito. See?
I see. All right then. To begin with, you'll need confirmation that you've worked as a waiter at the council and you're capable of serving even His Majesty. Look here. Do you have any idea what's expected of you? Can you tell different wines apart and that?
Well, to tell the truth.
You're off to a great start, but whatever. If you make a mess of it, show the confirmation to the head butler.
That makes sense.
And you'll need a waiter's livery. Here it is. I look like a prick in it. The main thing is, don't lose it.
Thanks. I won't disgrace you, I promise.
You better not.
Big and small, round and thin, carving by
Finest leather.
dyed, brought by this mug. Beautiful for sale.
vegetables, horseradish, delicious horseradish.
Blessings to you.
Franta Cooldown sent me. I'm to stand in for him at the council assembly.
Franta's not coming? What's wrong with him?
He got poisoned. Probably from food. He's writhing in agony. By turns praying and cursing, spewing from both ends.
Oh, that's enough. All right. At least you're here. We can't be without a waiter here, when the king himself will need waiting on. So, let's have a look at you. Have you got Franta's certificate?
Sure. Here it is.
Everything's in order. Now, about your livery. You've got a waiter's cap, a tunic you have. Hose are good. It's a good thing you've got no steel on you. You need to be light on your feet to run around tables. Everything as it should be. Glad to see it, lad. Do you know what your duties are? For an inexperienced greenhorn like you, it'll be a great responsibility.
Well, I'll happily listen to any advice. I wouldn't want to foul things up.
I should certainly hope not. Now listen. A good waiter should stand in a corner, look willing and ready, and not get in anyone's way. In short, behave as if you're not there. But when one of the gentlemen calls for wine, you run and pour it for him on the double. You'll find the pitchers on a table by the door to the chapel. You take one and go to their table and pour for them. White Tokaid or red monastery wine.
White or red, by the door to the chapel. Got it.
But for Councillor Adam of Zarzhitz, you must not pour at all. When he drinks, he disrupts and makes trouble. So the assembly has to be interrupted, or otherwise it never reaches an end. We can't allow that to happen in the presence of the king.
All right. Sir Adam of Zarzhitz stays dry.
And if the king himself wants wine, you pour for him with lowered eyes. Don't look at him. And the most important thing?
To stay in the background and keep quiet until someone asks me something?
Correct. The councillors have a lot to discuss, and they certainly don't need any interruptions. And in general, a good waiter has to be invisible, blind, and deaf.
Oh? I thought I had to keep my ears pricked.
Well, yes, but only to what anyone wants from you. No excuses, and provide everything that anyone wants from you. Understood?
Absolutely. I'm a waiter, after all.
Correct. And if you manage not to botch it up, you can even rise on the social ladder. But you'll manage it.
I know everything I need to. I can do it.
Excellent. Put away your things here. It's easier to serve with a lighter load. You can wait in the cubbyhole for the servants.
The city reserves are in urgent need.
There are the pictures of wine.
Unverzüglich. Our
Hopefully I won't
current
splash anyone's shoes.
is a joke, and on top of that, the army was requisitioning from it. Should the town reserve have worse weapons than any Räuber in the domain?
What are you getting at, Eldris?
I'm saying that the bandits who freed Hinnick. Dry Devil used that thing. That Hackenbücher.
Come now,
Hand
waiter.
cannon.
I wanted
Can you
red.
believe it? Where did they get them?
You're the one who should know where they got them, since you're a gunsmith.
What are you implying, Friedrich? All I'm saying is that they had them, Herrgott.
Come now,
It is eine
waiter.
Schande
I wanted
when
red.
outlaws have better weapons than the city garrison. And Herr König surely knows this too. The city reserves are in urgent need of new weapons.
There are the pictures of wine.
Our current
Hopefully I won't splash anyone's
is
shoes.
a joke, and on top of that, the army was requisitioning from it. Should the town
Hey,
reserve
waiter,
have
pour me some
worse
Kai.
weapons than any Räuber in the domain?
What are you getting at, Eldris?
I'm saying that the bandits who freed Hinnick, the Dry Devil, used that thing. That Hackenbücher.
Boy, are you deaf or something?
Can you believe
White.
it?
White.
Where did they get them?
You're the one who should know where they got them.
The city reserves are in urgent need of new weapons. Unverzüglich. Our current Waffenarsenal is a joke, and on top of that, the army was requisitioning from it. Should the town reserve have worse weapons than any Räuber in the domain?
What are you getting at, Eldris?
I'm saying that the bandits who freed Hinnick, the Dry Devil, used that thing. That Hackenbücher.
Come now, waiter. I want it red.
Where did they... The city reserves are in urgent need of new weapons. Unverzüglich. Our current Waffenarsenal is a joke, and on top of that, the army was requisitioning from it. Should the town reserve have worse weapons than any Räuber in the domain?
What are you getting at, Eldris?
I'm saying that the bandits who freed Hinnick, the Dry Devil, used that thing. That Hackenbücher.
Thank you.
Hand cannon. Can you believe it? Where did they get them?
You're the one who should know where they got them. Since you're a gunsmith.
What are you implying, Friedrich? All I'm saying is that they had them, Herrgott. It is eine Schande when outlaws have better weapons than the city
monastery
garrison.
wine.
And Herr König surely knows this too.
What is it, Eldris? You smell a deal?
What I smell is that your stubborn heads do not realize what Schwierigkeit this is. The Dry Devil is running free. There are Raubritter everywhere in the region. We have the army bearing down, and you want to defend yourselves with a few rusty halberds.
And who is it you want to fight, exactly? The merciful King Sigismund is providing us with protection, isn't he?
Der König and his army will not be here forever.
Shut up! The king can arrive at any moment. What if he heard you?
What then? We're sitting atop the biggest silver heap in the kingdom, and we're supposed to defend it with brooms?
You're right, Eldris. But where can we get the coin for better equipment?
We can always confiscate the property of the king's enemies, nicht wahr?
We are more than familiar with the jämmerlich state of our armory, and the king is surely aware of it as well. Maybe if he waived some of the taxes?
The king fears that this town will rise against him. He'll take the arming of the city's militia as a preparation for war.
So you suggest we just wait with arms crossed for the Raubritter to wreak havoc all around?
We can always ask the king to bring order to the realm with his army.
But then the Dörfler will rise up.
I'm afraid I see no solution of the current situation. We shall wait and see what His Majesty thinks about the matter. Maybe we can change his mind. Vielleicht?
I'd like to report to the Honorable Council on the cleanliness of the city
youngster,
and the state of the public baths.
You mean baths or brothels?
Isn't it the same thing?
So, the cleanliness of the city is not what it should be. The current baths in the city fall far short of covering all the citizens' needs.
You're right, Jerome. But a woman named Betty has showed up on Hopbrink and wants to repair the baths that
Is
used to
everything
be
all right?
there.
Careful. She's a protege
There's nothing you can do about it. Come closer.
Commendable, but
I need something from you. There is an item in my study that I confiscated from a female thief. She thought she could wriggle out of it by telling me who the item belongs to.
And what is it?
A silver goblet. She sneaked into Sir Ulrich's house and stole it. No one's noticed the theft yet. But if Ulrich finds out, he'll turn the city upside down to find the culprit. Go and get it. And don't you make a mess there, understand?
Where can I find this goblet?
Use your eyes and come right back with it, understood?
Neither a civic duty nor a right.
Have you forgotten the Black Death? A great many people died needlessly.
Are you questioning God's plan? The Black Death had nothing to do with the baths, unless the Lord wishes to punish the wickedness that's going on in there.
Nice.
Keeping the city clean
Whose
is
silver
important,
might this be?
but we don't have money to spare. Arguing about
So,
to wash where and how.
I did, Master Bailiff. Here it is.
not so loud. Show it here. That's it. And now go back to your job.
We wouldn't have to keep coming back to it.
A trifle. Do you ever walk the streets here? Sewage, rats, slop, and rubbish. The least we can do for the citizens is to provide them with a place to wash up.
What nonsense! Next, you'll want me to serve wine to everyone for free, too.
Why not? In Jerome Nars's earthly paradise, everything would be free.
Don't put words in my mouth.
Gentlemen, let's agree to disagree. What if the king heard us?
I got word that Rutard has pulled off another deed.
That's nothing unusual. That old weasel will never accept that the city isn't run his way.
Hey, waiter!
At
Pour
least
me
until
some
His
monastery
Majesty
wine.
honors us with his visit. And as we know, Gunslin absolutely hates him.
He can hate all he wants, as long as he does no damage. Ulrich, what have you got to say about it?
Me? Well, I'm not sure what you're implying.
Horseshit! You know full well. Everybody knows. He wiped the floor with you.
Compose yourself, Adam, and stop drinking. The king might come any time now.
That's right. Let's
Hawkeye,
not burden
and a
the
full cup.
anointed monarch with such...
Me? Compose myself? Me? I beg your pardon. I demand
Sir?
that you...
Ruhe! Franz, please continue.
I'm speaking about the Rutard incident. You were there, weren't you?
Oh, that. Just a small misunderstanding. We've sorted it out and everything's settled.
My ears must be deceiving me. Are you defending Rutard? Besides, if his men attacked yours,
Hey,
as
waiter.
I've heard,
Pour me
then
some
we have a
Tatar.
good reason to punish him.
What happened there? Leave nothing out.
I don't like Ruthard, true, but in this case it
Sir?
really was nothing.
Everyone in the city gossiped about it.
Well, thank the Lord.
I heard there were several dead.
Did you? That's grossly exaggerated. I don't think Ruthard will cause any trouble. He is sensible enough not to draw attention to himself while the king was here.
That's true. Because if we don't do something about him, the king himself will put an end to him, and soon.
Unless he puts an end to us first. God knows what he wants to tell us.
If nothing happened, there's no point in dwelling on it. Let's move on.
Things have got out of order in the town. Some adventurers decided to take the law into their own hands and restore the tradition of duels. It's not only barbaric, but also illegal. If we
Waiter,
tolerate
get me
this,
white.
the rabble in the city will go wild and do whatever they want. I suspect the gentleman from the city's sword-fighting school brought this custom to us. That German, Menhard, is just hanging around the market looking for trouble.
Hang around
Don't
me.
be
Vanish,
ridiculous,
you hear me?
Sucker. You act like you've never been in a fight yourself. And
What's
to
wrong?
accuse a swordsmaster...
Are you afraid everything will come out?
I've
We're
no
not some
idea what you're
fishwives
talking
in the
about.
market.
Keep to our agreement.
So you will just
Go.
leave it be?
Proven
I'm just
offences
passing by.
are punished by the bailiff.
Boy,
And that's that.
Come here for a moment.
There are more pressing matters to deal with.
More pressing than
Everything
the
in
open
order?
contempt
Not
of
quite,
the whole town
but I think
garrison.
you might be able
The
to help me.
guards are
What can I help you with, sir?
I left my gloves in the chapel. I took them off to pray, but then I rushed here and forgot to take them. I can't just get up and walk out now. But if you disappear for a little while...
All right. I'll get them.
I knew I could count on you. While you're at it, count how many figures on the mural have wings.
But why?
Because I'm bored, and because I told you. Get on with it.
I'd soon be out of customers. Ah, to hell with it. We'll never get anywhere like this. Why waste our time?
That was easy enough. And he wanted me to count the winged figures.
So, let's see what...
I found your glove.
Really? And did you count those wings?
I counted 24, sir.
And you counted correct. Good. Here you are, so you can have a bit of fun in the evening too, eh?
As the eternal dispute over the cathedrals. The building of the church is dragging on, and in the meantime, they are calling diocesan pilgrimages to settlers. Right under our noses.
You there,
Just
lad.
a village with a monastery.
A cup of bread.
And they are going to mock a
Don't
oil mining city.
skimp on
Why
me.
can't we build faster? Hire more craftsmen, start with night shifts.
Because those so-called craftsmen are a band of parasites. You pay them, they come late, or report sick, and if they do come, their work is shit, and you have to pay someone else to put it right. It's a waste of time. I tell you, a waste of time.
Adam,
Hey, boy.
don't interrupt
Full
the
cup of
proceedings
monastery
with your
wine.
drunken ranting, even if you are in the right. And as for you, Enderlin, haven't you noticed there's a war going on?
Sir?
Are the experts from far off supposed to work in a city
Good.
under siege?
Now run along.
Besides, I get the feeling there's something other than the welfare of the city behind your complaints.
Oh, you do? Do you? And what would that be?
Like, for instance, that you'd like to have your own altar there?
So what if I would?
Hold your horses, gentlemen.
Boy,
That
I'd like
space
some
in
white.
the side nave is mine.
Then hell freezes over, my friend. Your place is at least 2 steps behind mine.
A swordsmith dares to insult me? Ah!
Sir?
I think not.
Excuse me? You wanted
Thank
to buy
you.
yourself an altar in the cathedral. Just like you bought yourself a seat in this council.
How dare you? I acquired my seat for the services our guild provided and still provides to the crown.
Well, I hope you're not supplying equipment to the army. If that's all they have, they would be defeated by that bunch of ne'er-do-wells from the alehouse on Hopbrink.
What ne'er-do-wells?
Those wrestlers of theirs, of course. People from the whole town go to watch them brawl.
Oh, this is news to me.
Because it has all been sorted out. Not long ago, the guards raided and threw them all out.
Ah, yes, I had forgotten. What do we have to discuss next?
I'm telling you, something is being planned. Oh, I doubt it. No one's gonna tackle Rootard.
Azonal Gyurcsák össze. A legjobb katonákat, és kelkinek útra!
You have nothing to fear. Not you.
Like this man of fives!
Come now, Father. Put a little life into your dying. Seen more cheerful priests at funerals.
I'd rather be at one than here. I hoped I'd never see this fortress again in my life.
Unpleasant memories?
You have no idea. I didn't part ways with my father on entirely good terms. 20 years ago.
And now you're 2 decades older and wiser. At your Ujit's parish, you spread the word of God to your flock, and you saved my neck and Henry's too. I'd say your father should be proud of you.
None of that matters a damn to him.
Who knows? Maybe that 20 years has changed a thing or two.
You know what? Let's drop the subject. Do you know any of the guests here?
Most of them I'm seeing for the first time in my life. It's a pretty varied company. We've had bandits, nobles, burghers, a priest, and even a rabbi coming together here. It's like the start of some joke.
Wait a moment. Rabbi, you say? The Kuttenberg rabbi?
Yeah. He came with a retinue. But for now, they're keeping mostly to themselves. Maybe you should go and welcome some of them. After all, this used to be your home. And you're a spiritual man too, so you should have something in common.
I wouldn't be too sure. But I suppose I can try. Who's that French fellow you brought here from Malachov?
The great Baron Brabant. Been everywhere, knows everything, and has the keys to half the kingdom. He's got more fairy tales than my old nanny.
Can he be trusted?
He's a blabbermouth, but a harmless one. Besides, he defended Kuttenberg, and you know how that went. If he were on Sigismund's side, he'd hardly have been locked up with me.
How does it feel to breathe free air again?
What can I say? You can never truly appreciate freedom until someone locks you up for a while.
Or until you become a priest.
No fear of that in my case. I intend to enjoy life to the full. Wine, women, and song.
What do you plan to do now you're a free man again?
What do you think? Get drunk, woo one of the local wenches, and wake up in the morning with no hose and a head like a church bell.
Have you perchance forgotten we're supposed to be deciding the future of the kingdom here?
I'll leave that to the older and wiser. And Dollar.
Dear me. I'd rather creep off into some corner with a full wineskin. But I suppose I'll have to introduce myself to the rest of the guests, eh?
Indeed you should. After all, you are one of the lords of Rabosh.
Oh, don't start with that. I'd like to steer clear of the old man as long as I can.
In that case, you should sound out Radzig and Hanush and find out what they're actually planning.
Such rare guests. One wouldn't expect to find among Christians representatives of your... I'm Godwin. My greetings to you.
Peace be with you. Neither would one expect a priest here. And yet,
How do you know I'm a priest?
It's not difficult to tell. After all, we have much in common. And we are both a little on unfamiliar ground here. I'm Yehuda, leader of the rabbinical court in the sacred community of Gutenberg. And this is Samuel, my aide.
Who would rather not be here at all. Why did we have to come here, Sadie? Can you not see everyone is staring at us?
Because we all need to help each other in this time of need. And why would they not stare when you are frowning so?
Are you here to arrange some trade?
We have more serious matters to attend to here than gaining a few groschen. The situation in the town and the kingdom is unsustainable. The whole land is on the brink of destruction. You have men and weapons. We have the means to sustain them.
Why are you telling this to a Koimer? You wanted to deliver what we brought to the Margrave and quickly leave.
Everything in good time, Samuel. We have just arrived, after all.
Did you come to lend money to the lords?
Not to lend, but to give. Help given to the needy is repaid only by God.
You don't even know if you can trust them. With that money, we could have paid mercenaries ourselves.
You remind me of my young friend Henry. He's a bit of a hothead too.
Henry? That messenger of Radzik Copula?
You know each other. You're both around the same age.
That would be him. But we did not get off to a very good start.
I reckon the two of you would hit it off. He's reliable and has his heart in the right place. For a young stripling, he's been through plenty. It's not so long since his parents were killed in Skalitz. He was supposed to become a blacksmith, and instead, he's roaming the world, risking his neck at every turn.
Wait, a blacksmith, you say? From Skalitz?
Aye, that's right. Did you know anyone there?
I knew of someone. A blacksmith by the name of Martin.
My daughter knew him most, and that is why Samuel is in this world. For our numerous sins.
Maybe he was my father, but he certainly didn't act like one. Ma raised me on her own.
And that was all for the best.
Why? He should have taken care of me, but instead he fathered another bastard.
Don't make hasty judgments. As far as I know, Martin didn't have any other children. At least, none of his own. He took in Henry, and raised him as his own, on the orders of the Lord of Skalitz, Sir Radzik Copula, Henry's real father.
I don't care if he took care of 20 other Mamsas.
That boy's blood father denied him, just like yours did to you.
A person can't choose their parents. And Henry only found out about it recently.
Enough. I'd rather have a drink. Will you have one too, Zayde?
For that, there will be more suitable times.
Good health.
L'chaim.
By morning, even sworn enemies will be friendly.
Good health to you, sir. I'm Godwin. A friend of that lad you are...
Baron Vauquelin Brabant, Chevalier d'Arezzo. The last of my line. I am a warrior, a traveler, a strategist, and also, à ma manière, a poet.
My word. Isn't that exhausting?
Mais non! And I'm glad to meet a new friend.
It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance, Baron. I knew right away we'd hit it off. How did you end...
Ah, c'est une histoire compliquée. It was after I heroically led the defense of Gutenberg, and only lost it narrowly by an unfortunate turn of events.
That needs some explanation.
Oh, misère.
You're quite mistaken, Monsieur Baron. I have.
Ah, this Bohemia is a strange land. I have seen farmhands, children. Do tell me about it. No doubt.
My last big battle was in Kosovo.
I've heard of this battle. Many great men fell there.
Aye. And it was there I decided it was nothing for me. So I settled down in the presbytery in Ujits.
Then, what are you doing here at a meeting of opponents of the crown?
Ah, the Lord moves in mysterious ways.
In these troublesome times, you all know why we're here. The question remains, what to do next? Sigismund is facing troubles in Hungary, and here, too, he is up against resistance. He's a capable strategist, but a poor diplomat. Mark my words. If we wait him out until winter, he will leave of his own accord.
By winter, he'll have torched all our fortresses and carried off everything that we possess.
Are we seriously gonna wait and cower in a corner? Or are we gonna drive them out in shame? A few well-planned raids and we could have him in our fists!
At what price? Have you got men to spare? Has any of you got men and money to spare?
We don't have men out there.
Yes, we do.
We do not.
Jobst is right. That whole sun won't fall easily.
Only we can't wait.
Are we to get ourselves killed?
Or end with nothing?
I'm not going to die.
Friends, we'll get nowhere like this. Let's adjourn ourselves and try to think it through.
Well, that went just as expected.
And to you.
I would have expected a bit more. He made an... By the way...
That's not a thing I've ever boasted of.
I have my... From what I've heard about...
Is that so?
Indeed. And that's why I'd like to...
I'm too busy.
Certainly, friend. I expect we can agree that Jobst's plan has... And the way it stands at the moment...
Well... I'm curious how you hope to shut...
We'll sit and wait quietly until Sigismund... But we'll be waiting in the military camp of our huge new army.
Sigismund...
Ah, but Sigismund's army is demoralized. He's able to tackle fortresses that aren't...
But he can't retreat either.
And that's exactly why we'll wait until he's called back to Hungary. For the plan to work, we need allies. Then we just need negotiators who will push the right people in the right direction.
Are you saying you said everything?
More like in parallel. If we find support and make it look like the whole thing was his idea, we'll...
Why are you doing all this anyway?
Because I want to put a stop to the senseless deaths. And also because I'm happier with Wenceslas on the Bohemian throne.
You've got an interesting way of approaching things.
You're certainly not the first to tell me that.
I'll help you.
I'll give you 3 names. But if you can get those 3 on our side, we've won the day. Meanwhile, I'll take care of Jobst.
Huh.
Why me?
Because you've got a head on your shoulders. You and your friend Henry are similar in that respect. That's why I know I can count on you both. There aren't many like you two left.
What if it does?
I refuse to even consider that out.
I'll get...
I wish us...
Huh. Well,
This is probably the first time you guys are hearing my voice this whole episode because my mic wasn't recording for some reason. So, I really do apologize for that if this is the first. I don't know if it cut out recently or if it's been off the whole time, but this is where I'm going to end this episode. Thank you guys so very much for sticking around and watching the whole thing you did. It truly does mean the world to me. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.